missing. How are you?
I am happy because it's Mighty Math, and I checked my appearance in the mirror before, like after the costuming and wardrobe people helped me out, and I noticed my hat was really wonky, and I was going to fix it, but then I'm like, no, I feel like I'm being a little wonky today, so my hat looks strange. The asparagus are there, though, so
They
I'm
are.
excited about that. Asparaguy and asparagal are here today. I heard Mr. Asparagus was in this morning. I missed him again, so I'm a little disappointed about that, but what can you do? What can you do? But here we are from Mighty Math. Hello, everybody, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hello, everybody, and how are you? How are you today? Hello, everybody, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hello, everybody, and how are you? How are you today? Give yourselves a great big hand to Lula Chisa. Here's the deal. I feel sneezy, but it's just because I was outside walking this morning, and there's cutting the grass. There's all kind of wackiness going on in my head. So that's all it is.
Is that why you have Kleenex hanging out of your pocket?
Yeah, that is what I
Okay.
hanging out of my pocket. Yeah. My mom would be so proud. 11 years of college. All right, it's a good time, and I can't even know what to do with Kleenex. It's okay, it's okay. My friends, can we sing the ABCs? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Give yourselves a great big hand. And if you live near Peebles Road, if your name is Lincoln or Elliott, if you're in my neighborhood, I'm so glad to see you today. Yay! Hi guys, I'm glad you're here. Woo! I'm looking at your names, but I should look in the camera because you're there. You're there, you're there, you're there. I'm very thankful for that. Let's do some counting. Ready? Put up one hand, put up two hands, put up three hands. That's foreshadowing. Wiggle your fingers, close them up. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoop! I can't do it like Miss Rebecca can. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many fingers am I holding up now? 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 All right. Good job. Good job. Very good. Very good. Let's just see. I have Mr. Green today. Mr. Green Marker, and Mr. Green Marker is a fan of the show. And he was expressing to me his dismay at the behavior of Marker Blue and Marker Black, and how they sometimes mess around and don't draw the correct numbers. And so Bexley was like, dude, try green. So Bexley, I'm going to try green. Ready? You can count on me. Get it? Count? Math? Okay. What is the number when we don't have anything? 0. This number? 1. This number? 2. This number? 3. Oh, sorry. Asparagus. Where's asparagus? 3. Oh, we're all sorry. All right, let's try it. Let's start over. Let's start over. Right? Ready, Aubrey? Okay. Aubrey, let's try. Ready? Creepy? Kira. 0, 1, 2, 3. What comes next? 4.
Oh.
Sam, can you believe? Sam, I keep dropping the asparagus and asparagal. Hey, why don't you guys be together? We're stronger together. That's it. Mr. Green, I've been messing up so much today. I would not be upset if you made a little silly mistake.
You haven't been messing up.
Dude, I keep dropping the asparagus.
Hey, that's okay. Asparagus are,
they're flexible.
they're noodly.
That's true.
Things happen with noodles.
They do. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, Next is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Woo!
Can you believe it? That is really cool. That is really cool. Thank you, Mr. Green. Thank you, Mr. Green. I promise if you use me every week, I'll just be this good. Let's see. No, I believe it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My friends, let's take this away. And this one. And this one.
Is it time?
And this one. And this one.
Hi, Miss Eileen.
And this one. What numbers do we have right here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You take one from your left.
Doo-doo,
You take one from your right.
boo-doo.
We meet in the middle and we dance all night.
La 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 waka waka la 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 la.
We made up a dance called the whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo-doo-doo. Then we waved goodbye, bye-bye, and we walked away, bye-bye, and there were 2, ba-ba-ba-ba. 2 from your left,
Boo-doo.
2 from your right, boo-doo. They meet in the middle and they dance all night. La 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 la, waka waka la 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 la. They made up a dance called the Snips Galore. Snippy snip, snippy snip, snippy snip, snip, snip. Then they waved goodbye, bye bye, and they walked away, bye bye, and there were 4, ba 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 ba. 3 from your left, boo-doo. 3 from the right, boo-doo. We meet in the middle when we dance all night. La 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 la, waka waka la 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 la. We made up a dance called the Pick Up Sticks. Pick 'em up, pick 'em up, pick 'em up, up, up. Then we waved goodbye, bye bye, and we walked away, bye bye, and there are 6, bum ba ba ba. 4 from the left, boo-doo. 4 from the right, boo-doo. We meet in the middle and we dance all night.
La 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 waka waka la 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 la.
We made up a dance called the Bend and Straight. Bend straight, bend straight, bend straight. Then we waved goodbye, bye bye, and we walked away, bye bye, and there are 8, bum ba ba ba. 5 from the left, da-da. 5 from the right, boo-doo. We meet in the middle and we dance all night. La 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 la, waka waka la 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 la. We made up a dance called the clap, clap, clap and clap again. And there are 10 more. Give yourselves a hand, my friends. My friends, I have a question for you. Oh, sorry, please bear with me. Here's a question. How many eyes do you have? How many eyes? Ziggy, how many eyes do you have? 6-year-old Ziggy. Trip? Ziggy, I know Ziggy. He has 2 eyes. Alright? Most people, I would think, have 2 eyes. Okay? But some people, for whatever reason, they have 1 eye. Maybe they were just born with 1 eye, or maybe they had a little injury to an eye, so they would just have 1 eye. So most people have 2 eyes. Some people have 1 eye. Do you know anyone that has 3 eyes? 3 eyes? I don't know. I don't know. But I have a story about 1 eye, 2 eye, 3 eyes. Somebody know this one. I think Lincoln in LA. All right. 1 eye, 2 eye, 3 eyes. A very grim fairy tale told by Aaron Shepard. It's one of my favorites. I love this one. Once there were 3 sisters who lived together in a cottage in the wood. They had been there for as long as they could remember, and they never saw anyone else. Now, the oldest sister, she was no different from other people. Her name was One Eye, and she had just one eye right in the middle of her forehead. The middle sister was also really ordinary. Her name was Three Eyes, and she had one eye on her forehead and one on each side of her face. You can see that there. So she had 3 eyes, and the other sister had 1 eye. Now the youngest sister though, she was really different. She was really weird. Her name was Two Eyes, and that's what she had. She had 2 eyes. She was not like the others. Her older sisters were ashamed of her, and they picked on her all the time, and they dressed her in ragged hand-me-downs, and they only let her eat leftovers heated up in the microwave. Now the sisters had a goat, and every day Two Eyes took the goat to the meadow to graze. One morning, when she'd had hardly anything to eat, and she sat down on the grass and she cried her 2 eyes out. All at once, an old woman stood before her, but the biggest surprise of all was that this older woman had 2 eyes, just like she did. Can you believe it? What's wrong, my dear? It's my sisters. They never give me enough to eat. Don't worry about that. You can have as much as you like. Just say this to your goat. Bleat, goat, bleat, and bring me lots to eat. Then you'll have plenty. And when you don't want any more, just say, bleat, goat, bleat. I've had so much to eat. And then the rest will vanish, just like this. And the old man vanished, just like that. I don't think this is a true story. Maybe. Two Eyes couldn't wait to try. She said to the goat, bleat, goat, bleat, and bring me lots to eat. Ah, said the goat. And a little table and chair appeared. The table was set with a tablecloth, plate, silverware, and on it were dishes and dishes of wonderful food. Oh, this sure is better than leftovers, said Two Eyes, and she sat down and she started in hungrily. Everything tasted delicious, and when she had enough, she said, bleat, goat, bleat, I've had so much to eat. Ah, said the goat, and the table vanished. And that, said Two Eyes, was way better than cleaning up. So when Two Eyes got home, and her sisters gave her an old bowl of leftovers, she didn't eat it, didn't even touch it. The sisters didn't notice it till after Two Eyes went to bed, and then Three Eyes said, look, our little sister didn't eat anything. That's strange, said One Eye. Is somebody giving her food? Tomorrow I'm going to go and watch her. So the next morning when Two Eyes went out, One Eye said, I'm coming along to make sure that you're taking care of the goat. And she followed Two Eyes to the meadow, and she kept a careful eye on her. So Two Eyes never got to use the old woman's song. When they got home, Two Eyes ate her bowl of leftovers. Then she went off the woods and cried her 2 eyes out. The old woman appeared again. What's wrong, my dear? It's my sisters. The goat couldn't bring me food because One Eye came and watched me. Oh, don't worry about that. Here, if you can stop her by doing this, just sing her this song. Is your eye awake? Is your eye asleep? Is your eye awake? Is your eye asleep? If you keep singing that eye will close and she'll fall asleep. And then the old woman vanished. The very next morning, when Two Eyes went to the meadow, One Eye went along again. And Two Eyes said, oh, sister, let me sing to you. Is your eye awake? Is your eye asleep? Is your eye awake? Is your eye asleep? One Eye started to drift close, and soon she was fast asleep. And Two Eyes said to the goat, bleat, goat, bleat, bring me lots to eat. Bah! Said the goat, and the table appeared. Two Eyes ate her fill, and then she said, bleat, goat, bleat, I've had so much to eat. Bah! And the table vanished. And Two Eyes looked at her sister and said, wake up, sleepyhead. When they got home, Two Eyes didn't touch her leftovers. After she went to bed, Three Eyes asked, "Well, what happened?" "How should I know?" said One Eye. "I fell asleep. If you think you can do any better, why don't you go tomorrow?" So the next morning, when Two Eyes went to the meadow, Three Eyes went along and kept 3 eyes on her. "Listen," said Two Eyes, "I'll sing to you. Is your eye awake? Is your eye asleep? Is your eye awake? Is your eye asleep?" Two Eyes sang, and the eye on her sister's forehead went to sleep, but her other 2 eyes didn't. Three Eyes pretended, though, and closed them almost all the way, but still peeked through. She couldn't hear what Two Eyes said, but she saw everything. That night, when Two Eyes went to bed, One Eye said, "What happened?" "Our sister knows how to charm the goat to bring wonderful food," said Three Eyes, "but I couldn't hear the words." "Well, let's get rid of the goat," said One Eye, and they drove it into the woods. The next morning, One Eye told Two Eyes, "You thought you could eat better than your sisters, didn't you? Well, the goat's gone, so that's it." Two Eyes went down to the stream and cried her 2 eyes out. Again, the old woman appeared. "What's wrong now, my dear?" "It's my sisters. The song didn't work on Three Eyes. She saw everything, and now they chased away the goat." "Oh, silly girl, that charm was just for One Eye. For Three Eyes, you should have said, 'Are your eyes awake? Are your eyes asleep?' But don't worry about that. Here, I have an idea. Take this seed and plant it in front of the cottage, and soon you'll have a tall tree with leaves of silver and apples of gold, all right? And when you want one of those golden apples, you just say, 'Apple hanging on the tree, I'm Two Eyes, come to me,' and it will fall right in your hand." And the old woman vanished. Two Eyes went home and waited until her sisters weren't looking, and then she dug a small hole and put the seed inside. The next morning, a tall tree stood before the cottage with silver leaves and golden apples. Two Eyes found her sisters looking up at it in astonishment. All at once, Three Eyes cried, "Look, a man!" Riding down toward them was a knight in full armor, and he had a visor over his face. "Quick," said One Eye, "hide our little sister." So they lowered the empty barrel over her 2 eyes. They didn't want the man to see their sister because she had 2 eyes, and they thought 2 eyes was weird. "Good morning, ladies," said the knight as he rode up. "Beautiful tree you have there. I would love to have one of those apples. In fact, I would give anything in my power to the lady who first gave one to me." "Ah, that's a great idea!" The 2 sisters scrambled over to the tree, and they jumped up and down, trying to grab the apples, but the branches just lifted higher and higher and higher, so the apples were always out of reach. Meanwhile, 2 Eyes raised the barrel a little and kicked a stone so that it rolled over to the knight. "That's odd. That stone seems to have come from that barrel. Is anybody in that barrel?" "No, sir, not really. It's just our little sister." "She's different," said Three Eyes, "so we can't let anyone see her." "But I want to see her. Young lady, please come out." So 2 Eyes lifted the barrel off of her head. "My word," said the knight, "she's the loveliest young lady I've ever seen." And he raised his visor for a better look. How many eyes did the knight have? 2. 2. "Oh, no!" screamed One Eye. Three Eyes said, "2 eyes! He's got 2 eyes too!" Sure enough, he did, just like the sister. "Dear lady," said the knight, "can you give me an apple from the tree?" "Of course." She stood under the tree and said, "Apple hanging on the tree, I'm 2 eyes, come to me." 1 apple dropped right into her hand, and she gave it to the knight. "Many thanks, and now I will grant you anything in my power. To start with, can you get me away from these horrid, hateful sisters?" So the knight took 2 Eyes back to his castle, And since they had so much in common, after all, they both had 2 eyes, you can be sure they got to know each other and lived happily ever after. As for 1 eye and 2 eyes, and 3 eyes, day after day, they're still under that tree, and they're repeating their sister's words. Apple hanging on the tree, I'm 2 eyes, come to me. Apple hanging on the tree, I'm 2 eyes, come to me. But the apples never fell for them, and they never figured out why. So, when 1 eye says, apple hanging on the tree, I'm 2 eyes, come to me. Do you know why the apple's not coming down? Because she's not 2 eyes. When 3 eyes says it, same thing. And did you take a look at all the people in the prince's court here? The knight's court? They all have 2 eyes. Some people have 1 eye, some people have 2 eyes. Apparently some people have 3 eyes. The main thing is to look through your eyes with love. The 1 eye and 3 eye chicks in this story, they did not. They did not. But it doesn't matter how many eyes you have, or how many legs you have, or how many arms you have, or how many noses you have. It doesn't matter, because who you are is who you are inside. Let me tell you about another figure who had perhaps more of something than people thought she should. She was a pioneer. Many people think that a camel has 1 hump, or think that a camel might be limited to 2 humps. And that's gone on far too long. But you and I know a camel. We do. We know a camel. And we know her name. And she could be an ordinary camel, but she was extraordinary times 5. Alice the camel had 5 humps. Alice the camel had 5 humps. Alice the camel had 5 humps. Go, Alice, go, bum, bum, bum. Alice the camel had 5 humps. Everybody, Alice the camel had 5 humps. Come on, Alice the camel, she had 5 humps. Go, Alice, go, bum, bum, bum. Alice. Alice, what you gonna do with those humps? I'm gonna give myself a hump away, and I'm gonna do it today. Bum, bum, bum. Alice the camel had 4 humps. Alice the camel had 4 humps.
She did.
Alice the camel had 4 humps. Go, Alice, go, bum, bum, bum. Alice, what you gonna do with those humps? Alice, what you gonna do with those humps? Alice, you have 4 nice humps. What you gonna do? You know what? I am gonna take one of those humps. One of those humps, I'm gonna give it away. I need 3 now. You can eat 3. That is Alice, and I'm just me. Alice the camel had 3 humps.
Oh, yeah.
Alice the camel had 3 humps.
She did.
Alice the camel had 3 humps. Go, Alice, go, bum, bum, bum. Alice, what you gonna do? Alice, what you gonna do? Alice, what you gonna do? You know I'm thinking what I'm gonna do. If I give away another hump, then I'll just have to. So, Alice the camel had 2 humps.
She did.
Alice the camel had 2 humps.
I see him right there.
Alice the camel had 2 humps. Go, Alice, go. What you gonna do now that you have 2 humps? Ba, 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 ba. What you gonna do now 3 are gone? Ba, 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 ba. What you gonna do with just your 2 humps? Bum, 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 bum. I will tell you what I'm gonna do. I don't need to. Ooh, ooh. Take away a hump and leave me one. Alice the camel had 1 hump. Alice the camel had 1 hump.
There it is.
Alice the camel had 1 hump. Go, Alice, go. I don't need a hump. I don't need a hump. You need a hump. Well, you can have my hump because I am Alice the camel and I have no humps. I'm Alice the camel and I have no humps. I'm Alice the camel and I have no humps because, listen up, gentlemen, I am a horse.
You are.
My friends, I'm so glad that you were able to join us today for Money Math. I hope you liked that story. I know it was a little long, but I do like it. I hope you liked it. I hope you're having a wonderful day. You know, today's kind of a serious day. We have math. And, you know, often, Addison. Hi, Addison. Hi. Often, when you think of math, there's another subject that comes with it.
Help.
SCIENCE. Science.
Science.
12:15. See that?
Bye.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Kiss your beautiful brains. Kiss your loving heart. Look in that mirror. Look in the mirror. And say, hey, good looking, no matter how many eyes you have. You're all good looking.